Okay, guys, welcome back to the channel. It's your boy Jumpman Crypto. I figured we'd do a video today. It's been a while since I've done an actual recorded video. We've been getting a little spoiled with these live videos lately, and quite frankly, they're a lot easier for me. I'm a lot more comfortable, so we've been doing those a lot more lately. But we have some stuff happening this week, and I wanted to kind of shoot a video out and to cover a few things where we can prepare ourselves for the week. So we have FOMC coming up, guys. I think we're not going to get these rate cuts, but we want to be listening out for clues to see if we're going to get them next rate cut in September. Hopefully, I think the markets certainly think so, and there's a lot of stuff that's happening in the background. So, definitely we need to make sure that we are keeping this, in the realm of possibilities that we could have rate cuts in September. I think the odds are about 64, 65%. I'll need to double check, but right now they're about 4.75. So basically, it's not happening. We know that Trump showed up at the Fed building when they were doing construction over there, and Trump tried to fact check him, and Jerome Powell just had that Dominique Mutombo get that out of there. There's memes all over the place on X about it. It was pretty hilarious, but look, I think that it's going to be interesting. When we hear Jerome Powell talk, we have had a lot of data come out since then, and Trump went ahead and kind of had the markets pull back a little bit today because I think he rolled out the rest of these tariffs out for the remainder of the countries, which was going to be like a universal base tariff between 10 to 15%. So markets didn't like it. And of course, crypto is doing what crypto does best. It pulls back and dumps. But this is an opportunity, guys, to be able to scoop up some cryptos that we love and like so much. I was scooping up a lot of coins like AVAX, AERO, Morpho, and all the ones that we talk about inside the Discord. So you guys need to make sure that you guys are hopping in that Discord. The links will always be in the description. If you guys are looking to join a team that's full of winners, you guys know what's up. Follow your boy on all his socials and make sure you guys are keeping up because look, man, we're doing big things. We're changing lives and you guys don't want to get left behind. I know very few people, I get it, man. People are not wanting to do the whole Discord thing, but look, guys, it is what it is. Satisfaction guaranteed. We have results here, so you always want to be looking for influencers that bring receipts. You guys know what's up with me. We're constantly posting them up on here. And I get it, man. Some of the haters don't like it. They gave up on us in the beginning, and they get a little sourpuss, and they like to leave dislikes and stuff like that. But we just wish them well, man. We hope that they get where they got to get at and the success that they make in this market. We just wish them well, man. But like I said, we are doing big things, and not everybody can go where we're going. So one of the tokens that I want to talk about today, guys, is going to be Avalanche. Avalanche has been seeing a lot of big price movements to the upside. It came down with everything else. You know how crypto does, man. Crypto is very volatile. So guys, make sure when you're dropping money in the markets, you understand that something goes wrong or there's bad news, it will come down 5, 10, 20% real easy. So just make sure you guys are taking that into account. But Grove Centrifuge launches a $250 RWA strategy with Avalanche. And for people that don't know what it is, it's a tokenization platform. They do a lot of real world assets like credit, bonds, and treasury funds into the blockchain. So they were able to secure that big deal with them. And, this is obviously going to be, having a lot more eyes on Avalanche. And guys, a lot of people know Avalanche for a gaming token, but it is an ISO 22 compliant token. And it also has RWAs. We talk about it all the time. I sound like a broken record, has the FIFA sponsorship and the collaborations with a lot of different other big gaming projects. This is definitely a coin that a lot of people sleep on. You have a token like Solana, and that's already hit its all-time high, and then you have a token that has it, which is Avalanche, has a lot more room to run. So I tell people, look, if there's a crypto asset that you're looking to get into and you're not looking for a lot of risk, Avalanche definitely can probably be that one that check the boxes off for a lot of investors. Look, we had this trend line that I drew up this morning. I was looking for a bounce here. Fortunately, it broke below it. So now I am looking to see if we will come down here to somewhere between the price where it's at now. I'm looking for a reversal now or at 24.85. So if you guys are leverage trading, set some alarms there at that new level right there. And we want to definitely make sure that we are prepared for a bounce, because look, the markets tend to overreact about stuff like this, guys. It happens all the time. But look, the key thing about being a successful trader and investor is knowing where to get in and where opportunity may arise. So I think that, this good price action that we had here in Avalanche, might be a good area to pick up. And definitely, guys, if you're looking to, leverage trade, your boys partnered up with FEMX. We have a nice solid crew that we leverage trade here on FEMX. And, we are definitely loving the gain. So another great perk of being involved with Crypto Plebs is that we are leverage trading here at FEMX. And we are currently getting ready to hit our first milestone here with $10 million in volume. So hopefully we can get there in the next couple of days. So if you guys are looking to join a trading home, you guys are more than welcome to hop in here and join the team. We'd love to have you guys. So yeah, so that's Avalanche right now, guys. Look, was doing great this morning, but I already knew as soon as the market opened up. And, Trump is just always producing bullshit, and he loves to give liquidity, whether it's to the up or down. And I knew that this was the time to get into short. So I was actually shorting ETH. I already took profits on it. Should have held it a little bit longer, but you know what? Gains are gains, guys. And so let's go ahead and move over to the next token real quick. I wanted to cover Say. Say is another token that, I'm pretty bullish on. Let's see. I need to pull it up real quick. Wasn't prepared. Your boy. He's always dropping the ball, but it's all good. So we have this rising wedge on here. Bearish chart pattern that formed. I knew that we were going to see this rejection here, so that's why I was a little reluctant to take the trade that I saw this morning. I was initially going to go for a long, but I saw this rising wedge, and I decided just to wait to see if it plays out. So currently, I'm waiting to see if we can touch this trend line here at 32.08. We'll likely hit it. This could probably even be a good zone to take it right now, but I'd rather see if we can get a little closer down here. And remember, if you guys are in the KGU and you guys are in the Crypto Plebs, you know that we've talked about this 32-cent area. This is where it loves to hang back out around here. This is a good accumulation zone for it. So if you guys are looking to pick up Say or add it to the bag, this isn't a bad zone, but see, we can push down just a tad bit more and we can add it back down, to this level and see if we can get this bad boy on a nice, discount. So Say, again, another, great project. It's held by World Liberty Fi, stable coin, potential candidate for Wyoming. So it has a lot of great stuff that's going in favor for it. So we just got to wait and see, what's going to happen, guys. I think that, with the all-time high for Say, is it going to go back to its previous all-time high? I don't think so, but we just got to keep an eye out. Maybe we can get lucky and we could hit maybe somewhere in this upper 90, maybe 80 cents, but if you guys are looking for those exact levels, you know what to do. And let's see, let's cover Ethereum real quick. Ethereum, a lot of big guys have been starting to invest into Ethereum. That whole SBET, I wasn't sure what the guy's name is, but the guy that was decided to go with SBET with Ethereum. They've been putting a lot of money inside ETH, so ETH obviously is going to do well. It's the number 2 crypto. Look, I don't know as far as like the exact amount where ETH is going to top out at. I don't think anybody does, but I think it's fair to say that Ethereum will have a new all-time high. And I think that if anybody's really counting ETH out, then you should probably stay far away from these people, and really understand that ETH will have its time in the sun. All these cryptos, they're going to move at different times. I think people expect all cryptos to move up at once, and it really doesn't work like that. Historically, what happens is Bitcoin goes up, and then it goes to ETH, and then it goes to big caps, and then it goes down to the lower coins and such. This cycle's been a little bit different because, it's it's kind of been, all over the place. It went from Bitcoin memes and then, big caps and then mid caps. And then earlier this year, it went from Bitcoin to XRP, now to Ethereum. So it's all over the place. Look, I think it's been really hard to time what's going to happen in these markets. But I think the best approach is always just to make sure you're exposed to the market. I like to tend to hop on YouTube and see a lot of the bigger content creators and see how, they constantly switch up their stories. And a lot of it's engagement farming. I get it. I'm new to crypto and YouTube now, and I you got to get people to click on your videos, but it's just so annoying seeing these guys with 700, 800,000 talk about how they sold XRP and, I don't know. It's just so irritating, man. Look, everybody has to just understand the markets are still premature. There's a lot of FOMO and there's a lot of euphoria in these markets right now. It's just the way it is. Look, we get these bearish news titles and it's going to dump the price down 10%, on altcoins, and ETH will come down 5, 6, 7%. This is just things that you should always prepare for. But the fact that we have so much stuff going on, like last week, Galaxy Digital sold off billions and billions of dollars worth of Bitcoin, and it's still above 115. Got to tell you something, man. This would have been any other cycle, it would have been down 30-40%. So this is a completely different cycle. I think this is going to be ETH's turn, to hopefully re-challenge its all-time high or break it. I shared a chart with my community over the weekend. It was literally showing ETH in a pressure cooker, and this has just been a long time coming, guys. So look, if you guys are looking to scoop ETH, I would probably argue that there's probably better plays out there right now. The time to get ETH was a lot down here in this 2000 zones, but look, people are going to want to get into it. They're going to probably look for the more safer bet. So, look, scooping up ETH between, 34.80, maybe if we get something real bearish, we come back down to 3,000, it wouldn't mean that the bull market's off. Definitely in the cards. But, look, I think it's safe to expect to keep, 3,600 on your radar. See what happens on Wednesday if we get some bad news. Look, is the bull run over? Absolutely not. It's just a matter of waiting to see what the data says. We have to kind of react to the information that we get. Reading charts and stuff like that's always helpful, but just remember, TA just kind of records, stuff from past cycles. This is a completely different cycle. New president, new players, and it's just a whole different ball game. So just guys, make sure you remember that. TA is great, but there's just a lot of different setups that are happening right now. So you can't just rely off TA alone. You have to go off the news, and you kind of have to go off sentiment. And I think right now sentiment is really bullish. So as long as we stay like that, look, ETH can definitely go to 5K. I'm not really sold on this 10K. I see a lot of the bigger legacy channels that are sold on this 10K Bitcoin. But look, we just got to wait and see. I think Ethereum is definitely a good project. Look, I was screaming for you guys on the rooftops to buy it at that level, at 2K. Now it's just, it's slipping away from a lot of the investors now. So, just understand that. So let's cover parcels real quick. We're going to get this video out quick. I don't want to cover too many coins. We'll definitely go over some in the live stream, and we'll go over some in the paid memberships. Okay. So this is parcels, guys. Another great coin. A lot of great stuff that's happening. They guys are working hard. The team, I have, a watch list of, what they're doing on X. These guys are just constantly, building, and that's what you want to see. We haven't came back down to this lower 8 cents since we have had all that stuff going down over here in June, and that's good to see. We're basically climbing this ladder, but what I want to see is I want to see us get back above this 11 cents and hold. For us to go to this next level, guys, and start getting to this 14, 15, 16, 17 cent mark, we have to get above this 11 cents and hold. This constant rinse and repeat, rinse and repeat. It's just basically a swing trader's heaven, but for me, like as an investor, I want to see the price hold. So, look, all the parcel maniacs, all the people that are in the team, stop swing trading this coin. Hold it. Okay. Look, the only way that we're going to get this coin to 20 cents and to 30 cents is we got to hold. These guys are definitely going to, this coin's going to pump. I don't know when, I don't know how, but it's going to pump. We just got to be patient. So, if you guys are looking for the levels for parcels, anybody that's an OG knows where to get it at. If you can get this thing at 89, 89, that's a great area to pick it up at. I've always told you guys on every live stream, every bit of TA that I've done, it's just been bouncing around this channel. And if you can get it on the lower nines, that's a great pickup. We always got that resistance at that 10.5 and even 11 cents. So, I don't, like I said, swing trade if you like. At the end of the day, making money is always great. But one day you're going to swing trade and you're going to wait for that retracement. It's not going to happen. So, look, I'm expecting 20 cents, later on in the year. So, look, try to separate maybe a bag or two, not financial advice. Look, maybe have a swing bag and have a long-term conviction bag. That's what I always recommend. But, parcels is one of my favorite coins, probably my favorite coin. So look, I believe in it. I think RWAs are going to be smashing it this year, but we just got to wait and see. Okay. Like I said, the markets still have to, they still have to digest all this stuff that's happening. We still have all this, uncertainty with tariffs and stuff like that, and Jerome Powell and Trump and all that. So we just got to make sure that we're keeping our eyes open to what we see in the charts. And, look, just hope for the best. But all right, guys, I just wanted to push this video out real quick. Nothing, groundbreaking, but just touching base. It's been a while since I've, shot a video. I kind of missed it. No face or anything like that today. I had to get a haircut, and I just didn't feel like going out today, guys, and spending $50 on a haircut. I'd rather buy $50 worth of parcels. So, if you guys are wondering why I'm not showing my beautiful face, just didn't feel like going out and getting a haircut. It's really hot where I'm at, and I just wanted to chill today, make a video for you guys, and then, we'll see what happens on Wednesday on this FOMC. I may stream it. I may not. I'm not sure yet. But you guys, y'all stay blessed. Make sure to leave a like, subscribe. We'll talk to you guys later on. Jumpman Crypto out.